Tellemtribe Tarot, daily readings for my tribe. Subscribe to my channel.
Peace. I am Cherokee with Tellemtribe Tarot, coming to you with another love reading for my Geminis. This is the Decoding Love, Gemini and their Flirtatious Partner series. This is video number 4 of 12, and this is for my Gemini and their Sagittarius partners. Whether you're married, whether you're in a committed relationship, open relationship, well, hopefully not open relationship, because then the flirting wouldn't really matter if it's open, right? But I mean, any kind of relationship that pertains to you and the questions that you may have. Maybe in an open relationship, you might think your partner's too flirtatious. I don't really know how those relationships work. I've never had one on purpose, but I imagine that you will get your questions answered to know how to make better decisions going forward. This is a judgment-free zone, so it's all good at the end of the day. Take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. Oh, wait a minute, you guys. I forgot to put my mic on. Yeah, so take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. Leave all the uncute comments to yourself. I'm going to have to beat this into the newcomers who come and say things sometimes that are unpleasant because you're unhappy with your lives. If you'd like to book a personal reading to see how you can get in touch with yourself so that you can be more kind to yourself, so that you'd be prone to be kind to other people that you do not know, the link is in the description. Tellemtribetarot.com. Click the book a reading link and choose a reading of your choice, and that's on that. So let's go ahead and get into your reading, Gemini. This is for you and your Scorpio partner. Oh, so Spirit is saying that you need to consider someone else's perspective. You need to see the situation from a perspective other than your own. Shed light on a different mindset. Ooh, very, very interested in tapping in to see what that's about. All right, so Gemini. So the question that we ask when we start these recordings is, do you trust your partner? And right now you're uncertain if you trust your partner. I'm going to pull an actual tarot card to follow up on that, the Ace of Swords. So there's a conversation that you've been meaning to have with your person that you have not had due to whatever reason you may have. You may feel like, it wasn't the right time, or maybe the person is not ready to have the conversation, or you were going through a rough patch with something else and you just felt like it was poor timing, or your person was going through some things, or you were going through things collectively. It was just hectic and this is on your spirit, but you backburnered it. So you decided it was never the right time. So this is something that you've internalized. So do you trust your person? You want to trust your person, but you are having a difficult time with doing that. What's going to help with you trusting them in the future, Gemini, is by opening up your perspective to see, to consider your person's natural characteristics. I feel like I'm giving the same advice for the different signs that you're dating. But here we are. You have the potential to have an open communication with your person, and you need to take that opportunity to have a sit down with them to say, hey, some things just bothers me, and start from there. But I feel like you trust them 50-50. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You don't trust that they are being completely honest with you about their thoughts and feelings when it comes to how they're supposed to conduct themselves in a connection with you. So that's what you have to discuss. Now, does your partner initiate attention when you aren't around, or does people come to them and they flirt when people come to them? So I feel like, let me get a second card on this. This is the first time in the series I had to pull another card to clarify, but there's a first to everything, right? So I feel like your partner takes initiative. I feel like your partner is a powerful person. They have a powerful spirit, and their flirting is attached to some kind of need. Like they flirt based on what they think the person that they are interacting with can do for them. It's never, I don't want to say never, but it's usually not on the strength of stepping out on the connection, which is pretty cool if you ask me. This is a person who's using what they have to get what they want, but they're doing it in a way that's respectful to the connection. But you're just like, this is probably what the issue is, what you want to talk to them about, but you just never felt like it was the right time to talk about it, Gemini. With your Sagittarius. I don't even think I said in the beginning that this video was for Sagittarius, and if I didn't, my bad, but it's gonna say the title on it anyway that this is for Sagittarius. So your Sagittarius tends to use their skills and their abilities to connect with people in a way to make them feel like they're the only one and that you don't exist, just so that they can solidify what they need. And then that's when they may release the fact that they're in a connection with someone else. And I feel like because they feel as if their personal business is nobody else's business. That's the type of approach that they have when they, when you're not around. It's like the relationship doesn't necessarily exist. I don't want to say that, but it's just as if the relationship is not a part of the discussion, so there's no need to bring it up. They do carry themselves in a certain way that people respect, but people usually don't know that your Sagittarius is in a relationship unless people know of you through a friend of a friend or colleagues or acquaintances or whatever. But a brand new person wouldn't necessarily know that your Sagittarius is in a relationship. And that's because your Sagittarius doesn't see it as a necessity to make mention that they are in a connection, because it's no one's fucking business. Their words, not mine. Now, is your partner defensive or accusing you of jealousy? I think they are with the Four of Pentacles. I feel like they tend to bring up a lot of the things that you do in comparison to what they do, to say what they have going on is justified. And that's something that you have to talk about, because I feel like a lot of times that y'all just agree to disagree to keep the peace, and nothing really gets solved in that regard. If you want to have a peaceful relationship, you have to come to terms with what those standards are, the standards are in your relationship. And here you have someone who is a social butterfly just like yourself, Gemini, but this one is a business-minded person who knows how to get to the bottom of things using their God-given gifts, their God-given talent. That came out wrong. God-given gifts. Their God-given talent. This is someone that is all about their business, and to you, being from the inside looking in, they feel like you should be able to understand this. But Gemini is a little territorial, so is Sagittarius, but in increments. They are leading by example. They're saying, hey, look, follow my lead. I'm not jealous when you do what you do, but since you're bringing it up, I'm going to pinpoint when you do exactly what I do, and it's not a problem. So what is it that you're hassling me for? And if it's a problem, let's figure this thing out. But I feel like you don't really talk about it. Like, you kind of, when they try to bring it up, because they can see the way how they have affected things, you tend to cower or not say anything or feel like it's not a good time. So you're the one that's pushing the conversation back and back. But I feel like they don't necessarily accuse you of being jealous. I feel like they accuse you of being insecure. Well, I think that's the same thing, huh? But they don't use the word jealous. I don't feel the energy of, oh, you're jealous because you do similar things. I feel like they just say, look, we do the same shit. So what are you doing? What are you talking about? So you have to come to them in a different way. You have to change the perspective. And I think that's what I was feeling initially, where you have to alter your perspective and the way how you address things, because you come from a position of blame, and anyone on the receiving end is going to want to retort rather than think about the actions that they're taking that may be harmful. Maybe they're doing it in a different way than you do, and you can't get your point across, and you feel crazy a little bit when they try to tell you this, because now that you're trying to explain something that's affecting you negatively, and they're making you feel crazy for having those feelings. So you have to revisit the way how you approach them, or approach them in a way that they understand, so you don't feel as if each time that you try to have that conversation for that new beginning, for y'all to really grasp what's happening, so it's not in vain. or so it doesn't feel like a lost cause or like you're beating a dead horse. Okay, so are you afraid or you suspect that this person is seeing someone else with the Queen of Cups here? I don't think that you are afraid that they're seeing someone else. I think that you are afraid that they will build an emotional connection with someone else. That's your only fear here. That they won't necessarily have sex with someone else, but they would build a connection that is emotionally strong with someone else. And to me, that's a lot worse than sex, because sex could just, it could be meaningless. But once you start getting that emotional connection, that's when shit starts hitting the fan, and then you really lose the person. So I think that's your fear. Now, if this person doesn't change, can you accept the behavior? So with the Knight of Cups, I feel like you would be enabling of the behavior because of how love you are in with this person. I feel like if you don't have this conversation and let this person know where you stand, you are going to be enabling this feeling that you have. If you keep postponing what's important to you, you're going to keep on feeling that feeling of lack, as if you're not being heard, and eventually that will make you resentful and do some shit that you regret. So I think the main thing here is that your person is a flirtatious person, but you are as well. I feel like I said this to you before, but with this particular person, you guys have they thought that you had an understanding. And a lot of times when y'all sit down to have conversations, if y'all do sit down and have the conversations, when you talk about the topics that are important, but you don't really get anywhere. It's like you talk in circles. So now you have to have a sit down with maybe a third party, with someone who can mediate, or you really get your point across by writing down those ideas, Ace of Swords, writing down those points that you need to address, and come to your person like, look, here is what's bothering me. Each time that I bring this up, you bring this up. And I feel like that's kind of stonewalling what I got going on. And I really want this to work. So it's either we're going to talk about this shit like adults and get through it, or we're going to have to make other arrangements because you're getting on my nerves. But I feel like I could get through this. Y'all are a dynamic duo, so y'all could get through this. So I'm going to pull a Love Oracle card, and we're going to close this reading out. And you should have, didn't mean to drop this, the answers that you're looking for. All right. Oh, my squeaky chair. It's brand new, so whatever. All right, so Gemini. For Gemini, geez Louise. Gemini and their Sagittarius, that flew out. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind. For the heart is the gateway to the soul. So right now, what you can do is have the conversation that's difficult for you. I feel like a lot of times when you keep things to yourself, Gemini, you end up doing things that you regret. So the thing that you can do, which is very simple, is to just say, I need to have a conversation with you. I want to talk to you on Thursday at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't be late. And I'll bring the Casamigos. Well, don't have alcohol present because it might slur your speech and you might miss the whole point of the meeting your damn self. I'm just simply saying, make this something that's important. Don't pencil it in, ink it into your calendar, and let your person know this is something that's really important to you and it's bothering you. And this is someone that you're in love with, and they are in love with you. So I feel like they'll be open to hearing you out. But I don't feel like you've ever really addressed this situation seriously. It's always been casual conversation, which is why it's still happening. All right, so I hope this message resonates with someone. If you'd like to book a personal reading, the link is in the description box, and keep it locked for the next video in the series, Gemini versus Aries. Subscribe to the channel and drop a comment to say hello, because I love it when you do. And until next time, love and light, tribe.